Hi, I'm Kim Davenport, and we're here in Norfolk at the International Open, and I have a special guest with me. And first of all, I'd like to introduce Reed Pierce here, my partner in crime, 1995 U.S. Open champion, and one of the great players of all time, not just one of the great Filipino players of all time, but one of the great players of all time, Hall of Famer Alex Pagulayan. He's won the U.S. Open, he's won the WPA 9-ball championships. And Alex, I'm sorry that you're not in this tournament. It's my understanding you were knocked out, but you are such a great player. And now you grew up in the Philippines, is that correct?
I actually I was there until when I was 16 years old, and then I moved to Canada in 1994.
Okay, well, why I was saying that, because you had such great players over there. You had Efraim Reyes and Bustamante. Was anybody your idol or hero over there, so to speak?
To be honest with you, I get to see them here in North America, not really in the Philippines. So, because I wasn't really into pool, well, I don't really go to a big city and play pool. I just go to like countryside kind of thing. I'm
Right.
one of that guy.
Okay, yeah.
And then I took it serious when I moved to Canada.
Okay, because I know that you were over in Hawaii for a while, because I was over there with me and my wife were going over there quite often, and I had seen you over there a couple of times. And
Yeah, I met this girl there. I ended up living with her. We had two kids together, and I believe that was in 2003 until 2006 when I was there.
oh, beautiful.
Yeah, Alex, I remember the first time I had heard about you, Jimmy Wetch. I know you know Jimmy.
Yeah.
He told me, he said, Reed, you got to see this kid from the Philippines, Alex. He said, he's unbelievable. I said, really, Jimmy? He said, yes, you got to see him. And the first time I got to see you really playing, I think it was in 1998 in Nashville at the camp, one of the tour stops. And I think you were too young to be able to enter that tournament. Am I correct by saying that?
Yes, you are.
Right. Well, you were also playing the Ghost in the other room, and I can't remember what you were playing. It was something like the 12 or 15 ball Ghost on a 9-foot table, and you were beating it like easily. And I was like mesmerized watching you play because you were playing so great. It was unbelievable what you were doing there that day. Tell me something about that. How did that work? What was going on there that day? Do you recall?
Well, I can recall a little bit. I remember watching you guys all play, and I'm kind of like itchy to play. Let me play. Let me play. Let me fake my ID. Let me fake my ID, right? But yeah, I ended up just playing the Ghost and betting whatever I got in my pocket. And
How many balls were you actually racking up there at Nashville?
1998, I believe. Well, I was 17, so there's two times, right? First time I beat it the 10 ball. I think the second time was a 12 ball Ghost.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what it was. It was a 12 ball. That's what I thought.
So-
Yeah, that was. But you've played some unbelievable pool. I got out of pool, retired in the early 2000s, and since then, you, in my opinion, what I've kept up with, you might be one of the best at all-around games, no question about it. I don't think anybody would question the fact that you play 9-ball, 10-ball, whatever rotation games. You also play one pocket as good as anybody. I don't know about your straight pool game. Maybe you can tell us a little more about what your straight pool game is about. But I do know on the one pocket and the 10-ball and 9-ball, in my opinion, and most people's opinion, you're as good as it gets.
About straight pool, I don't play enough. I love the game, but we don't have enough tournament on it. We have one tournament a year, which is the U.S. Open straight pool, and I can't find anybody to spar with. So I really wanted to learn the game because I don't know how to play straight pool.
So let me ask you a question. The way they play in 9-ball today, I see it. They're breaking from the 9 balls on the spot and the ones up, and they're breaking the balls and the cue balls going into the rail softly and coming back into the stack, versus when I was playing and Reed was playing, and probably when you first started playing, we would try to hit the one as hard as we could, and the cue ball would pop back up in the middle of the table, and we would run out. Now it's all changed. What's happened there? Do you think that's for the better or for the worse, or what do you think?
Well, I think the idea that they have right now, for me right now, I think this is the best rules because ever since Corridor figured out how to break and rock him, everything changed. So if you just go back to like the old school and then they just gonna soft break it, they just gonna the pull nine ball is not gonna be like fun to watch. You know what I
Right,
mean? They
right.
break in 2-3 miles per hour and then so this one and this time nine ball on the spot. Although they make the one ball in the side 80% of the time, but still they need to get lucky to get position on the next ball. So and then there's gonna be some play there. I wish they could just take the jump cue off and then it's gonna be more play. It's good for everybody. The guy who plays a lot of strategy, like myself, because we cannot outshoot these kids anymore. They are shoot too good. It's basically made for young guys.
Yeah, and the jump cue, you mentioned that. That's something that I've always been a proponent against, and I think Reed, you're the same way.
No doubt.
Because you could play a great safety, and the next thing you know, the guy's taking his little cue out and just hops right over the ball and hits the ball and makes it. These guys are really deadly with it, and I just thought it took something away from the game. Now, back in the day at the Pro Biggers Tour, we had banned that when we figured that it really wasn't good for the game.
Or this is what they can do. They can limit like 2-3 jump cues per match, and then if you hook yourself, you can't use your jump cue because you messed up. You should deal with it. You know.
So let me ask you another question about the rules of pool.
Yeah.
Is it different? There's no set universal rules, is there? Isn't every tournament something's different about the rules?
Yes.
Every tournament you have a different. So that makes it very difficult. They've changed the color of the balls.
Yeah.
I heard the other day that the guy shot the wrong ball. I mean, what is that?
Well, I mean, we talked to the promoter of match sports, which is Emily Fraser, and I talked to her about it, and she said she likes it.
She likes it. Okay. Is it because of the color? Do you think it gives the Europeans an advantage? Because I think it was born out of Europe, wasn't it?
No. Actually, no. This is a new thing. Completely, she just out of the blue, she likes to change the color.
So this just happened this year?
3 years ago.
3 years ago?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's it.
But I
It's
mean,
something new.
So they didn't have the balls in Europe, the colored balls, before
No,
they came.
no.
Okay, they didn't have. Okay.
Well, let me ask you this, Alex.
Okay.
What about the events that y'all are playing sometimes that you race to 4 and you best 2 out of 3? It's really not best 2 out of 3 sets. It's a race to 4. You win the first set, your opponent wins the next set, and then y'all go to a shoot-off. Tell me about that. How does that exactly work? I don't like that format. If I was playing pool today, I probably wouldn't show up to a tournament like that myself because I don't think it's fair for the better players, the best players. But what does happen when it goes to that shoot-off? Where do you have to put the cue ball the first time, and where do you have to put it the second time, or is there a third time that you move it around? Because I don't know that. Can you tell me that?
I don't know if I should say this in camera, but okay. We're all going down then.
You don't have to say anything
Well, first
about. You can just say you like it, or you can say you don't like it. You don't have to elaborate on it. We're not trying to put you
No,
on
I
the
didn't.
spot.
No, I didn't. I wasn't. I'm the one that's saying it's no good. I just want you to explain to me. I'm not saying you're saying it's not a good format. I'm saying it's not a good format. It's no good for pool. You should never put the best players in the world out there shooting a spot shot to see who advances to the next round. All I'm asking you is to tell me what happens. Where do you place the cue ball? Do you have ball in hand behind the line on the first shot?
Right.
Oh, you do? You put it anywhere on the table?
No. There's a certain box that you can be in.
Okay.
Like you have to be there. But first of all, I'm kind of like I'm thanking Predator. They're doing something to make the game better. But the way they doing this, I don't think it's getting any better. Because personally, if they want all the best pool players out there, I'm not gonna travel 10,000 miles to play race to 4 and I lose to a shootout. I played 4 times already, and every one of them I lose in the shootout with 22-year-old kid. So
And no, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
so the thing is, I understand that trying to make it better, but if I'm in the area, I got nothing to do. Of course, I'm gonna join. Last time I joined, I'm already in the area. I played this. We had the $5,000 one pocket tournament. it was an hour and a half away. So I said, let me join. Only if I make 10 spot shot in a row, which I did. And
10 in a row?
Yeah.
You had to make 10 in a row?
Well, that's my reward and punishment for myself. If I can make 10 in a row, I'll join it. So I did. So that's why I went to that tournament. And I'm so happy I won my first spot shot. I made 4 in a row, and Roland Garcia missed his third one, I think. Oh, the fifth one, sorry. I made 5 in a row, I think.
Right.
Yeah. So about that 10 format, it's all about nerves now. So if you're one of those guys that start very, very slow, forget about it. Race to 4, and you got no chance.
Yeah, that would be like playing 2 holes of golf, basically, is what it would be like. So, anybody could win. Basically, what he's saying, in that format, anybody could win. You're taking great Hall of Famers and world champions that, like Earl said earlier in our show, can get beat by a cab driver. He basically said that, and that's the truth.
Yeah. Well, the thing too, the competition these days, the equipment that we're playing on, it's completely different. And these guys, they already shoot. They take the game to. I'm not saying taking anything away from the FN, you and yourself, you too, but the way they play now is different. So probably I think the pocket is too big. It's too good for them already. I think they should shrink the pocket a little bit and also take the jump cue out. So the guy who has a good strategy like will have a chance to win.
You said to make the pocket smaller.
Yeah, just like
Yeah.
I believe like 4 1/4 level do.
So they're 4.5 in here?
Yeah. I think so.
Are they sure? I thought they were 4 1/4.
No, 4 1/2.
They're 4 1/2.
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree
that
with
was
you.
standard back
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
day, 4 1/2.
Yeah, but I agree with you. I think if you're going to bother to play so fast a cloth and all that, I think if you shrunk the pocket
A little bit.
it would it might change it up a little bit. Yeah, it would. It would change it up.
I'm sorry. Let me ask you another question. So, getting back to they shoot so straight and everything. Now, is this you're talking about basically European players, basically, because they have the open hand bridge and they hold it way back and their hips up. They look like snooker players. Is that kind of formed from the snooker background?
Well, some of it, yes. Some of it, just I think the edge of European. I think the mindset and how they train their body, they train their mind, and they took it to the next level. I think that's the advantage they got. But knowledge-wise, I think American people and you guys yourself, I think probably still better. I mean, so
Well, yeah, but getting when you say I don't mean to interrupt you again, but you mentioned Ephraim Reyes and knowledge.
Yeah.
Ephraim is, in my opinion, knows more about pocket billiards than any living, breathing human. Knows more about the game, all games.
I could not agree more.
I could not agree more.
So he's one of the, I mean, living legend. Before Manny Pacquiao, he's the most well-known Filipino out there. And then Manny Pacquiao came along. Now it's the second now.
Well, Ephraim might be running for office, I heard, over there in the Philippines. Have you heard that rumor?
Well, no, I don't think so, because I get to see him not as often I see Boosty, but I talk to him quite a bit. But I don't think he will run for.
Okay, but
Those are
maybe
great
that was a
guys,
rumor.
man. You know, all you guys from the Philippines, Efren, Bustamante, Luat, all the old guys. I can't name them all, but y'all are some of the nicest people. I played against y'all all those years. We had some great times together. I know you're a little younger than me, so I really wasn't out there when you got to be, the lion, But y'all are all so kind. Y'all are all so giving, and it's just amazing to be able to compete against y'all when I was out there, because I respect Efren, Bustamante, like I said, so much. Y'all are just great people, and I can't say any more about it. I mean, the Filipino players, my hat's off to you.
Yeah, and I have the key to the city of Manila. Was given to me by the mayor when we were over there. Team America played Team Philippines over there, and we played in a basketball gymnasium, and there was probably 4,000 people in the stands watching us. It was incredible. And Mr. Puyat, we got off the plane, and Mr. Puyat had us all funneled. We didn't even have to go through customs. That's how it was. And Miss I think it was Miss America was on that flight, and the cameras were rolling, and she thought it was for her, and it was for the American team coming over there, and she was a little embarrassed, and we were a little surprised. But yeah, the Filipino people has always treated me very well.
Sounds like Mr. Puyat to me. Yeah, he's very modest and big people, very connected and very nice. One of the nicest people I ever met. So
One more
So
thing.
was Jay at that time. So let's say put that together with you.
yeah.
One more thing.
Can I ask a question if I may?
Yeah.
Who would you like to play straight pool against right now?
Right now, I want to play somebody that is knowledgeable, that just don't run out, because I wanted to learn the game, because I think that game suits me. I just don't know enough. I don't play enough. So if I can play somebody like any of these guys, like Mike Siegel, or I get to watch the videos, so I want to see the safety battle.
How about Earl? Would you like to play Earl?
Yeah, I would love to try. Yeah, I would love to try Earl Strickland, but I want a person to play that knows a lot about the moving part, because the run out part, and everybody knows that.
Yeah, so I think he's talking about Jimmy Rimpey, Alan Hopkins,
Yes.
the Miz is gone, Siegel and Varner. Yeah.
Well, what about
Those
the guys
legends.
that just had the Q Masters for 14 more? Are those guys, are they at a different level than anybody? Who were those guys? Who
Those
are those?
guys that they're phenomenal straight pool player, but the thing that they do is they just run out. Because I want to learn the game itself, like the way to play. Because I believe straight pool is kind of like relate to one pocket. I don't think they can run hundreds if you don't give them a shot.
Right.
So you know what I mean.
Defense.
So
Yeah.
keep them on their chair. I mean, but I love the game. I want to learn. I wish one of my friends will teach me how to play straight pool. John Smith.
Well, he
There
just
he is,
walked
right
out
there,
there.
John
He is
Smith.
right there. Yeah.
Runs hundreds.
Yeah, he
there he
runs.
goes. He's walking
Yeah.
away. Come on, John.
Let me ask you one more thing. What do you think about the carbon fiber shafts and the different shafts compared? Does that have anything to do with how much straighter these guys are shooting today? Does that have anything to do with it or not?
No,
It has nothing to do with it.
nothing to do with it. The
Okay.
advantage of carbon fiber, first, you can't ding your shaft. It won't go crooked. But it's like, for me, Q is like buying a car. Whatever you prefer.
Do you play with the old wooden cue, or
Yeah.
you still play with the
Yeah.
maple cue and a wooden shaft, huh?
Yeah, because I like the feel of the wood. I like the feel of the hit. I'm a feel player. I think the carbon fiber doesn't have that. I'm not really sure, because I shouldn't say anything about it because I haven't tried it. Maybe someday, I don't know. But right now, I'm happy to what I have. It's doing whatever I want it to do. So
What type brand cue do you play with?
I'm playing right now Steve Lomax Q.
Steve Lomax.
Yeah,
Okay.
very good. Q.
Yeah, give him a plug.
Yeah, Reed and I were talking about it the other night, and he was talking about how the carbon fiber shafts, you can't dent them, you could bury them for 100 years. And he says he had to have his cue nice and smooth. And I told him, well, if I didn't have a dent in my shaft, I didn't like it.
I couldn't play C with a nick.
It
He
never
says he
bothered
had to
me
have
at
a nick.
all.
Does a nick in the shaft bother you?
Well, it kind of big, because like I said, I'm a field player.
Yeah.
If I feel something in my cue, it's like, I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
weird like that.
Do you do the old trick of wetting it and trying
Yeah.
it with a hair dryer? You still do that? Okay, all right.
Raises the wood up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
when you wet
I
the
used to
wood.
do that all the time because if I had, if I drop your cube, it bumped to the table wrong. You could put that little bit of soft dent in it, and then you slide in your hand. I'd have to change shafts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's go into one other thing here, or maybe two. But you are a player that's been known to go in the back room and play private games. An awful lot. Is that correct? Didn't you just have a big one pocket match? you
Yeah.
played?
For some reason, when I play for that kind of money, I don't know. Some pool got out there, just like I just raised my game up. I don't know why, maybe the mindset is different. Uh, I get excited if I play for 100,000. I just really get excited.
Right. Yeah.
You know, I'm just like, ooh, let me do it, kind of.
Well, I don't know if I could hold my cue for 100,000.
Oh, you were alone at the back room there, sir. But in your
You're going back
days.
decades now. But I was always a little nervous about when I first started out and playing. We were gambling, and then after that, it went away like immediately. You know what I mean? But the first couple of games,
Oh, I'm like
even in
that.
tournaments, you just get jittery, and it's
Yeah.
like. But then if that goes away, if that don't go away, you're in trouble.
Well, I felt like if I wasn't nervous myself, starting out, I felt like I was going to lose. I always wanted to be nervous in the beginning. That's just the way I was. A little nervous, not overly nervous, but I want to be a little nervous in the beginning. Is that how you are? Or?
I can't remember the day that I play for money or tournament that I'm not nervous.
There you
I'm
are.
always
Right.
nervous. Like
Exactly.
especially when I'm in the very beginning, but the longer I play, the better I get. So I think that's probably why I do so good in the back room, because we always play this long race. And I start off really bad, and next thing you know, I finish it really good. So
Yeah, well, you're an unbelievable player. I mean, you play all games great. I see no weaknesses in your game.
yeah,
that-
there is now. Look,
Well, you've gotten a little older, Alex. But let me explain something to you. I know everybody, and I hear the talk. Nobody wants to mess with you. We know that. So
yeah, actually, I still keep trying to challenge myself, and even though I don't think I can, especially the rotation game with these guys, but they still haven't take my offer yet, so obviously
Right.
they're still.
yeah, that's what I'm going to touch on. I liked to you said something there a minute ago about me. I played for money, and I thought I was one of the better money players in the world when I was playing. And I loved to play for money more than I did tournaments. It just made you get excited. These guys that are playing in here, you'd have an advantage playing any of these guys if you played them $100,000 set than you would going up against them in here in a tournament room, right?
Well, yes, I think I wouldn't say I have the advantage, but the equipment that we're gonna play on is not like this, so it's gonna change few things for them, right? It's not gonna be sliding in. You gotta like the way where me and Tony John played. We're playing in 4 in 1/8, 8 months, 8 months old the clock. So
Right, slow. Where if you get out of line, you have to do something,
Oh, yeah.
force the cue ball up, wet tables in New Orleans.
Oh, yeah.
New Orleans, let me ask you this. New Orleans, Louisiana, in my opinion, I live close there. You lived in the Philippines, obviously, so you're going to probably play more wet equipment than I have, where the tables were wet. In the United States, would you consider New Orleans probably the toughest place to play as far as wet equipment, maybe?
oh, one of them for sure. The one we played on, I think I can't remember. Wait a minute, I take it back. The toughest table I ever played when I played Tony. Also last year, we played. I believe we bet 102. That was the toughest equipment in it's in North Carolina. Oh, wait a minute. It's not Spartanburg. Aiken, South Carolina.
Yeah. South
Yeah,
Carolina.
Aiken, South Carolina.
So it was wetter there than it was in New Orleans?
Oh yeah, I mean the equipment that we played it on is more, yeah, more like it kind of got like a trap table somehow. If you can't really, so there's certain spot you can't hit it hard. My favorite table. Ooh, no. The reason why I like diamond just because I never found or played on bad rails yet. So they always have good rails, and it's got to be diamond, and gold crown is next. So it's just I'm not saying which one is better. It's just I prefer diamond.
Are you involved in any other businesses besides pool? You do anything else?
Well, no, I tried, and that I learned that that's why they have the school for business, so you learn, because you got to learn everything in this role. You cannot just like go in, you be screwed if you don't know nothing. That's it. I tried
Here, here.
a few things, and
So we were talking earlier about wet tables. And what that means for you folks out at home is means when it's really humid outside in high humidity areas, that the tables get to playing springy and bongy, and the cloth gets slow and it gets damp and the pockets shrink. It's very difficult to play. The rails don't play true. So that's why I always liked, I was from the West Coast, and I always thought that was the best climate to play in, a dry climate, because the tables play the way they're supposed to play true.
No doubt.
In short, when it's wet, the nerves gets higher. I was like,
I always liked playing on wet tables. See, because I grew up in the South and they would boing, and I knew kind of what was going on. So I loved to get on a wet table and play on it. When I felt like I had an advantage playing someone that especially if they come out of some other state trying to play me on my equipment. But
I like playing on that equipment because, especially in one pocket, I think the movers, like if you know more, I think you might come out ahead on the other guy.
well, your one pocket game, how did you become so good so fast at one pocket? Did you learn from Efren, or did you learn just by? Was there multiple people that you learned from?
I did learn from everybody, but while I was, learning the game, obviously I look for the best. So I always play Efren, and I always donate.
Okay, folks, I think we're going to wrap this up. It's great to have him with us. Hall of Famer Alex Pagulayan and Mr. Reed Pierce, U.S. Open champion. Thank you both. And from the Pro Billiards Tour, ProBilliardsTour.com.
Thank you guys for having me here.
Thank you,
Oh, my
Alex.
leg.
Great man,
Thank
son.
you.
Great player. One of the greatest.
All the best of luck.
One of the greatest to ever play the game right here.
Thank you.
You got it.
Thank you for the kind words.
You are.